Hello, it's Ash and welcome to my channel. I'm here to help you run better by helping you look after this body. So we're going to have a nice full body stretch. We're going to spend a little bit longer than the usual 10 minutes in our stretches, and we're going to make a start in seated. So we're going to try and come into a cross-legged position, and I know that this might feel quite uncomfortable for some people, but what we're going to try and do, if you can, is whichever position you are in currently, we're going to try and bring the foot onto the calf muscle or the thigh if you're able to. Now, if you're not able to, don't worry, don't judge your body against my body. Stay here and we'll just go, this will be enough work into your hips for you. So if we can, we're here. If not, we're with the foot on the floor. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring the hands out in front and straddling the knees, so to speak. So it's almost like one hand one side, one hand the other. And we're trying to push the chest down at the left side. So this is my right side, but if you're facing me, it'll be your left side. So let's go over to the right side, pushing the hips down into the floor. You should feel that into the hips, maybe the lower back, squishing everything down. Push the belly button down towards the space in between your pelvis, and then we're going to slowly walk over to the other side. Keep the shoulders relaxed, keep the jaw relaxed, keep the elbows relaxed. A little bit of a pause each side, push the hips down and come over. So we're going really slowly with this. If you're new to my practice, if you're new to my stretch videos, I do dynamic stretching, which is moving slowly through the stretches. So these stretches, you can do them any time of day. You can do them as a daily stretch, straight after you run, or you can do them an hour or two after you run. You can even do them, I know that there's a few hikers and there's a few gym people that do my stretches after gym, after their workouts. So you can do them anytime because they're dynamic. We're not statically stretching cold muscles. Okay, so just moving left and right with that. Breathing as you do it. Giving everything a good squish in the pelvis, in the hips. And then we're going to come back up with the head and chest and take the hands behind the hips. And whichever leg is in front, we're going to switch that around now. So just switch around, bring the other leg in front. And if you've not done this before, sometimes it can feel a bit odd. It can feel a bit strange. Now, again, if we can, check. If we can, foot onto the squishy part of the calf or the thigh. And if we can, again, it's not a competition, place the foot in front of the other foot like this. So we're going to go, same thing. This time we're going to go over towards the left to start, to the right to start, my left. And again, push the belly button down as if you're pushing it in front of the pelvis. A little bit of a pause and then come back over. And you should feel that working one hip slightly more than the other. So the foot that is on the thigh. We're moving left and right with this. So a little bit of a pause as you come to the side and then coming over. So the foot that's on the thigh, that hip should feel like it's getting that little bit more stretching, because what we're doing is we're externally rotating the hip a little bit. So you're twisting it and stretching it, which in modern day living, our very linear modern day living, we don't do enough of that, external rotation of the hips. Okay, and keep breathing as we move. Try and keep the upper body and the jaw soft. Again, it's all about squishing in a nice kind of healing mindset. We don't want to be brutal and aggressive. We're not trying to be a contortionist. It's all about helping your body recover. Okay, and just coming up nice and slowly. Bring your hands behind your back and then just take the legs out in front. I'm going to come onto my mat a little bit more like this now, because I'm going to show you from the side what this next one looks like. Have a little bit of a bounce through the calves and the hamstrings. Okay, and feel that work. Where do you feel it? Okay, so we're going to come into a cross-legged position. It doesn't matter which leg goes in front, because we're focusing mainly on the upper body and the lower back now with this one. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to start to walk the hands. Keep the hands wider than the mat if you're on one. So what we're going to do from here is walking your hands backwards and start to bend the elbows. So fingers point back, bend the elbows and push them backwards. And then start to arch your lower back, so use the lower back muscles to push your belly button and your chest forwards. So you pull your shoulders back at the same time as doing that. So you're pushing elbows and shoulders backwards, push your belly button and your chest forwards, and you should feel a really good stretch through the front of the shoulders, maybe the chest, going down through the arms. It shouldn't feel tingly, so if it does, take your hands wider away, because that's obviously stopping the circulation or pinching a nerve. Okay, so it's active, it's an active stretch because we're pulling back and pushing forwards with different parts of our body. Keep your chest, your chin down slightly. And keep breathing. So again, if you spend a lot of time at a laptop or a phone or a gadget, this is really nice to open everything out in the opposite direction to the hunched posture we normally take up in our day-to-day living. Have a little bit of a smile as you stretch your body. Okay, one more breath in. As you're breathing out, slowly coming forward, we use the breath out as a slow transition forwards, and then have a little bit of, again, that little bit of a wiggle, roll through the shoulders, feel the work, and then take the legs out nice and long. Now we're going to work into, again, similar position with the arms, so let's take them back a little bit. We're going to get a little bit into there, but not as intense this time. But bending the knees, and then let's place the left ankle area onto the right thigh. We're going to work into the glutes as well, so the glutes and the hips of this, so the bum muscles and the hip. So we're going to start to bring the right foot up towards the right hip. The closer this foot comes to the hip, the more intense it is for that left hip. So find the right amount of intensity for your leg. It's not a competition. Don't judge your body against my body. I always say that, but it's really important to feel and listen and understand your body. When you get there, we can then, again, find the right amount in the arms and the shoulders, keep the elbows bent, and then we're going to go left and right with that. So just slowly, you don't have to go too far into the right hip. We're going really focused into that left hip. Put a lot of weight into that left hip and glute area. Bring the left knee down towards the floor like this, and then roll back, not all the way over on the right hand side. So just a little bit into that right glute. The foot doesn't come anywhere near the floor. Roll the knee all the way down, and then so you're massaging into that left hip mainly now, and roll through that as well as pulling the shoulders back. Keep breathing. Notice how as we move and breathe slowly, the body just starts to open up because we're signaling to the central nervous system to allow the body to just be a bit freer, a bit looser. We don't need to tense and protect ourselves against the movement. And I know I do tend to talk a lot. So if, as I've mentioned, if you don't like talking, you're probably not going to like my videos because I do talk, but I'm just very passionate about what I do. Got lots of busy knowledge in my brain that I like to share. My brain's a very busy brain. Okay, how's it feeling as we go through that? Can you feel that squishing, stretching into the left hip, left glute area? Sciatic area. Okay, and then just slowly start to come back to the center. Just adjust your arms and then stretch the legs out nice and long and feel the left compared to the right as we do that. Breathe. So it's as much about mental relaxation as it is physical relaxation. So if we can focus on nice smooth inhales and exhales, always letting the exhales just be slightly longer than the inhales and trying to breathe in and out through the nose, that's going to help the mental space. Again, give us that mental space, that mental quiet, so we can help the mind and the mental health recover as much as the physical. So we're going to place the right ankle area onto the left thigh now and bring the left foot up towards the left hip. Finding the right amount of intensity, just take the hands a little bit further backwards, keep the elbows bent, push the chest forwards. Again, just sit into that right hip as you roll the right knee towards the floor, and then come over towards the left hip, but don't go all the way to the floor with the foot. And then we're massaging through that. So the knee almost comes to the floor, and then the foot goes about halfway down. Still a little bit active, bending those elbows back, pulling the shoulders back, and we're breathing as we do that. And then we can reflect on our own run, and we can think, how was my run? So how was your run? Or your workout, or your hike that you've just done? Did your body perform as it should? Did you notice anything different about your body? Maybe sleep or hydration or fueling influenced how you performed. So for me, I had a really easy recovery run today, and it's the first time that spring looks like it's visiting the UK. And I'm like, oh, the sun's out. It's cold, but the sun's out and the birds are singing. And I was actually at points throughout my run today, a nice easy pace, just briefly closing my eyes with the sun on my face, just thinking, bliss. Okay, and then slowly come back to the centre, and then just stretch the legs out nice and long, and then have a little bit of a bounce. It's always really nice to see the sun after a dark grey winter here in the UK. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, again, we're going to get into the hamstrings and the calf muscles. So the back of this left leg, depending on what your flexibility is like, you might need to keep a good bend in the knee. So left hand back, left knee bent. Let's take hold of the left foot with the right hand, either around the big toe or around the arch of the foot. Get nice and tall, and then what we're going to do is start to lean backwards a little bit, bring the foot up, and then we're going to start to kick that left heel away from the hip. So straightening the leg as much as we comfortably can. Don't fully lock the knee out, because that could just start to stretch the sciatic nerve, which we don't want. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slowly bend the knee. And then we're going to slowly kick and straighten. And you should feel good stretch through the hamstrings, through the calf, maybe through the Achilles. As long as we're not forcing it too aggressively, it should feel like a nice, refreshing, light stretch. So you're just slowly pulsing with that. Stay nice and tall through the spine and have a little bit of a smile. Working on your mobility is going to help improve your longevity, your lifespan, not just your running. So well done. So we're stretching, then releasing, stretching, then releasing. And if you can, add in the breathing. Okay, last one. And then slowly release that leg. And then just feel the difference between the left and the right legs. What do you notice? For me, the left one just feels a little bit more stretched. It feels a little bit longer, it feels lighter, not as heavy as this right one. So right knee bends, right hand behind the hip. We're going to take hold of that foot with the left hand, and then we're going to get nice and tall through the spine, and then we're going to start to bring the foot up, and then kick the heel through, find a stretch, a little bit of a pause, and then bend the knee. Release the stretch. Kick the heel, find the stretch, and then release it. And you're just slowly moving through that now. Make sure your body feels good with this. So again, it's not an aggressive, really brutal, trying to squish it into a shape that it doesn't want to be in. Use that back hand as a nice support. So you're almost using the weight of the leg to find the stretch, if that makes sense. Okay, last one. And then bend the knee, and then just release again. Stretch the legs out nice and long. Have a bounce, a wiggle. And then we're going to come onto your front now, and we're going to work into the shin muscles. So again, keeping them supple and healthy is a really important area for us runners, these lower leg stabilising muscles. We're going to work into shins, then we're going to go into the big toe and the arch of the foot. Really important area as we go through mid-stance as we run. So tops of the feet come to the mat, go knees as wide as the hips. And I know that some people have painful knees, and this stretch is really intense for them. So what we can do to modify that is you just don't go, so the closer the hips go to the heels, the more intense it is. So you can just hover the hips higher off the heels, slowly bring the hips down. When you feel the stretch, you pause, and then you push back a little bit like this. So you're rocking to the stretch and then push forward, rocking to the stretch and then slowly push forwards. Okay, if you can come down, hips into the heels. Again, give everything a good squish, and then push forwards. So there's 2 modifications already. So find the right amount for you. If this feels quite comfortable and doesn't really feel like much of a stretch for your shins, you can bring your head over your pelvis, and then you can move left and right. So massage to the left, massage to the right, giving those shins and the top of the ankles a good squish. Breathe as you do this. Again, if you're here and you're going, ah, gosh, this is so painful, listen to your body and come forwards and use those modifications that I've just shown you. Okay, nice and tall, breathe, relax the shoulders. Okay, so you're either pulsing on the hands or you're moving left and right with this. Well done. Okay, we're almost there, and we're going to work into the toes and the arches of the feet next. Hopefully you've been aware of your breathing. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders. Okay, then coming forwards now. So if you was forwards already, you'll meet me here anyway. And then we're going to tuck the toes under. Same principle. So the modifications, we just make the motion smaller like this. So if you look at the camera, you just make the motion smaller. So depending on where your knees and your toes and your arches of your feet feel comfortable, you can make the motion smaller. So we start here. If this feels like it's comfortable, we can carry on going all the way to the heels with the hips, pushing to the toes, and we can come forwards. This is the second modification. It's just a little bit of a progression. Okay, if this feels comfortable, it doesn't feel like it's enough, again, it's not a competition. I'm trying to help as many people as I can with this and think about as many people's flexibility as possible. You can bring your head over your pelvis here, so you're really giving those toes a good squish and the arches of the feet. The toes are really flexing here. So get nice and tall, and again, same thing, we're going to move into, put the weight into the left foot and put the weight into the right foot. So you're giving the right big toe and the arch a good squish, then the left. So we've got 3 variations on that, either in this intense one, the second one is this going into the hips or the heels, and then the easiest one, depending on your flexibility, is just slightly rocking. So we've got 3 variations. Do the right one for your body. Make sure you breathe and relax the upper body and the jaw. And smile. You're here working on your suppleness, working on your muscles, your tendons, your nervous system, caring for your body, which, as I've said, is not just good for your longevity, or not just good for your running, it's good for your longevity. So well done for caring for your body. Almost there. Okay, and then just coming forwards, come off, and then just feel all of that work as you come down onto your bum. Feel all of the work in the lower leg muscles, the shins and the arches of the feet and the toes. Well done. So from here now, what we're going to do is we're going to bring the right foot up off the floor. A little bit of work into the hip flexors if they start to burn. Just bring the foot back down and then just have a little bit of a pause and come back up. What we're going to do, leaning backwards, you're going to do some circles into the ankle. Again, to keep that lower leg supple and healthy. So we're going to draw a big circle with the right toe. Right big toe. The right toe? The right big toe. So draw a big circle, really open up the ankle as much as you can. You can internally and externally rotate the knee. So internal rotation is this as the toes point in. External rotation is as the toes point out. So if that wants to help the circle, you can do that. And then go in the opposite direction. You can feel the hip flexors starting to burn. If you need to, again, you just come down, have a little bit of a shake out, then come back up. We're nearly there with this one. Okay, and then again, just have a little bit of a bounce and a wiggle. Really important to keep those joints healthy, right into, again, working into the range of the motion. We're going to go into the left side now. So hover the left foot up off the floor, draw a circle in one direction. Again, you can use that internal rotation of the toes and then the external rotation. So that goes right into the hip. So we can get hip and ankle with this one. Keep breathing. Okay, and change direction of the circle, so go in the opposite direction. Notice which side, left or right, you've got more range of motion and freedom, and which one can you control more. Sometimes it's, quite often it's the more dominant side, and bring that leg down, have a little bit of a wiggle. Sometimes the more dominant side you've got that really good control of, and the other side you can't quite do it as well. So if that was you, that's quite common, that's normal. Again, it's just that brain-body connection that we've practiced repetitively to be stronger on that dominant side. We're going to come down into your back, bring the knees into your chest, and just have a little bit of a move around, massage left and right. We're giving the hips a little bit of a squish after that as well. So do some circles or rock the hips up, side to side, up and down. Breathe. Squish the lower back muscles down into the floor as well. Okay, and then we're going to slowly go into a nice deep rotation. So stretching the body as much as we comfortably can, opening the arms out nice and wide into a T position. We're going to slowly lower the knees down towards the right hand side. So take the right hand and place it on the left knee, and then just twist and look over that left shoulder. Take a breath in and a breath out. As you breathe out, let the body soften and go into the rotation that little bit more. Okay, so nice, good, again, cross-rotational stretch. It's like twisting a sponge. One more breath in and a breath out. And then slowly starting to stretch the legs to the bottom of the mat along the floor to keep them nice and supported. Stretch the legs, give them a little bit of a move and wiggle around again. And then bring the knees into the chest. Hug the shins again, just a little bit of a squeeze. And then release. Arms out nice and wide. Slowly lower the knees all the way over to the left. That left hand can take hold of the right knee. Twist and look over that right hand. Breathe in. As you breathe out, soften the body into the rotation. So stop tensing muscles that don't need to be tensing. Okay, again, one more breath in. And as you breathe out, start to use the floor to stretch the legs out back again to the bottom of the mat and feel that work. Just notice how nice it feels. Can you feel how the change in the man and the body has happened as you've slowly stretched and moved your body? Can you feel the intensity's lowered? Maybe you feel a little bit more space in the mind, a bit calmer. I'm going to bring the feet as wide as the mat and with a good bend on the knees now up towards the hips. Take the arms out into a Y position if it's okay for your shoulders. So make the Y bigger if you need to for the shoulders, but if you can, just a relatively close Y. And then what we're going to do is roll the knees over to the left, push the right knee down towards the left heel, look over the right armpit. A little bit of a pause and then come over to the right with the knees, push the left knee down towards the right heel and look over the left armpit. So you're going, looking in the opposite direction to the knees. A little bit of a pause and we're going to slowly move through that now. You should feel that maybe the front of the hips, the top of the hips, maybe going into the side of the body, and also maybe the arms and the armpit area. Slowly breathing in and out through the nose. You should be starting to feel really nicely recovered now. So let me know in the comments how you felt as you've gone through this practice. What was your run? If you're not sure what to put, just put thanks for the video. Again, I always ask this. I know it gets boring if you watch my videos regularly, but if you don't ask, you don't get. I say that a lot too. But it's really important that people engage with my videos so that more runners see the content and this community carries on growing. Get the message out there. Don't skip the stretch. So give this video a thumbs up. That's another way of saying thank you, Ash. You can comment, as I've mentioned. You can share this video with somebody that will benefit from it. So shares have been amazing. I do greatly appreciate that. Thank you. And subscribe and click the notification bell to get my 3 posts a week. Those are free and simple ways you can say thank you to me. I really do appreciate your engagement, your support. And just moving nice and easy. Bring the knees into the chest one more time. Again, have a little bit of a move around. Just give everything last little squish. And if you're wanting to go a little bit further, if you wanted to have a look at mini courses with me and longer sessions, 40, 50-minute sessions, different courses, running form courses and strength, foundational strength courses, and ongoing videos on there. I've got a video membership platform, which is a monthly membership where you can maybe take your practice that little bit deeper. And if you don't fancy that, well, I'm still going to keep posting these free videos so you can have all these for free, so don't worry about it. Okay, stretch legs out nice and long. Notice how you feel now. Well done for caring for your body. Well done for putting that time and effort and commitment into your longevity, not just your running. So how do you feel? So you can just start to slowly bring yourself up, or if you feel like resting here for a few more breaths, just take a pause, just take a moment, decide what you're going to do with the rest of your day, and then start to bring yourself up slowly. And then I'm just going to say thank you. Again, thank you for following along with me. Thank you for all of your support and engagement, and I do greatly appreciate it. I shall see you in the next video.